Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory, yes. We're back on good old Satisfactory, ready for another day. This one's going to be a little bit late, just kind of been doing other projects. Summertime's coming up, we're getting into the warmer days, so that some more and more projects and stuff are going on, so, a bit more active than usual than I was all winter. So anyway, that's kind of what's been going on. But yes, we're back on here, back on our modded playthrough. And if you'd like to know what those mods are, the mods list is down in the description section of the video, along with a link to Satisfactory Mod Manager, so you can download and install mods by yourself. Yes. Okay, well, now that that's all out of the way, so yeah, nobody's responded to whether we should do some decorative builds or not. So I'm just going to do them anyway. If you don't like it, well, you should have spoken up. But yes, we're going to be doing some decorative builds, which kind of get away from this. So we're making, this is what we made last time. Yeah, I kind of want to redo the roof. The roof is not quite the way I want it. I kind of want to do, almost want to do like a 1 meter. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll figure that out off camera and whatnot. And if I did say I was going to do anything off camera from last time, I have totally forgotten. So it is what it is. Let's back up here. So our first decorative build. Going back up here. Yes, our first decorative build that we're going to be doing today. Not today, but or not. It's not going to be finished today, but it's going to be done, or not done. It's going to be started. Sorry, I'm having a hard time. But yes, it is going to be started today, right here. And this was kind of what we planned for, as far as like an oil tower, to kind of get rid of this. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. And we're going to figure something out. I have a plan, but I don't know how well it's going to work. Like I said, that's why we got to kind of figure some stuff out. First of all, we got to get rid of all the grass foundations. Yeah, because a park right here just doesn't make sense, does it? It just doesn't. Not in this area. So we're going to get rid of all of these foundations that we don't need. And that's like 50 foundations just in a little square. A little bit laggy today as well. Anyway. So yeah, that's why this is here, is because, well, giant rock. Can't move it. Can't do nothing with it. It's a little bit over this way than I'd like, but I think we can still make that work. I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to see. But for now, we're going to put some foundations down. Actually, might get rid of all this extra. What is all this extra? Oh, that was the wall to those pipes. Nah, we don't need all that foundation work. We just put walls down there instead. I like how half the tunnels aren't even finished. Well, when you're doing all this by yourself, it is a bit ridiculous for how much you have to do. But that's okay, because we will do it. For some reason it's saying I'm clipping maker. I don't know what clipping it's talking about. Is there any, like, oh, I guess there is nothing. It's right there. Let's see if there's any foundations. No, there isn't. There must be a foundation inside of this, the center of this, then. That's the only thing I can think of. That's okay. We'll fill in the area with foundations. So basically we're going to cover this up with a tower, or we're going to attempt to. I don't know how well it's going to work. We're probably going to have a base that kind of, I don't know exactly. a base that comes out a bit. Because as you can see, it's not quite center, as far as that goes. We also need to figure out how big the tower is going to be up top, because when we make our circle, or rounded shape with straight walls and straight foundations and all that, when we make our circle, it's going to have to be, it's going to have to connect at the top, and down below it's going to be, of course, it's going to be kind of sinking together, I guess you could say. Or not sinking together, clipping together, and what's not. Yeah, and this is just, like I said, I don't know how well this is going to work out. We'll try something. What we could do as well is we could do a tower with a little house, a little entry point at the bottom, but don't make it accessible. And because of how off-center this is, 1, 2, 3, 4, before it even, say this foundation touches, so 1, 2, 3. This foundation is the only one that touches, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's centered this way. Okay, this one touches here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see, it's slightly off. And then this one's like really close. It's like it touches here, and then you got 1, 2. That's what I'm thinking. We're gonna have to have like a little house, probably off to the side here towards the road, to make it kind of seem like it's, could be something that exists, just to cover up this ugly rock here. Okay, so a few things we're probably going to need, and like I said, I have a plan, but I don't know how well it's going to work. We're just going to have to try and hope that we're doing good. We're doing good. Now there was was it upside down foundations? It's like there was a big round foundation. Now unfortunately we had to snap this. That doesn't look big enough, does it? Actually, I can't believe it snapped to the center there. We hit H, and nope, we can't lock that in, unfortunately. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Probably doesn't fit all the way around. I don't want to place it, because if I do that, what's going to end up happening is then I got to delete all of it because it's not correct. Of course, the tower needs to be bigger than this. So world grid foundation, no. Yeah, these aren't exactly correct. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to try and find the center of the block here, and then work off of that and whatnot. So I guess we'll start out with coloring something. So it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good. It's 11. So that's going to be 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there's the center on that side. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a raised foundation temporarily. And then we can find the center of this and then go off of that, of course. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not good. That's not good. No, that is not good. So the center is technically here. Where's the center of the spire? Here's the center of the spire. So it'd be one this way. If we get rid of that. Yeah, that's unfortunate that I did that. Why did I do this? Why am I like this? We could get rid of the sides now. Make the block bigger. But then what's the point of having all that space when it's just a tower in the first place? You know, we're going to center the tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. We're going to center it here so that we get the center of the spire itself. And no matter how small we go, as long as we don't go too small, we should still be able to center it. And then maybe we'll put like a house on this side since it's slightly off center. Just kind of use up some of that space. And of course we're going to fence it off and things like that, but yeah. Like, this is a pretty good idea, we just got to figure out how to work it. I'm not exactly sure how to do this. I've never done something this, like, when I'm creating like curved buildings and stuff, I've never done something this large. So I need to figure out how far we can go. Not with that. So basically I'm going to be using the crosswalks, and we're going to be using basically the biggest you can make. It's going to be like this. Which is going to be 2. I have a feeling this isn't going to work out. Well, let's build one corner of it, and let's see how, or where we need to move. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. It's going to be a big tower on the top, which is what it needs to be. Okay, so how many walls? So then I kind of get the idea. So yeah, this is just one of those things where you just need to build it and find out. So let's see, how many walls is this across? So it starts. Yeah, it starts there. I think, right? That's the center of the spire. Yeah, because here's the center. Oh. There's the center. So then if we take this should match up along that wall. I probably shouldn't have placed that, but that's okay. Because now there's going to be some walls in there. That's fine. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, those two match. Yeah, I was just curious. Okay. So that's the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I move it over, it's going to be 5, 5. So basically it's as big as this. Is that what that's telling me? Like if I was to center the wall, and obviously this isn't. Maybe it is. It's not quite center. It's not quite there. So we either need to smush it down slightly, because we got to get this. We got to get these correct. because then that'll tell us how big our base can be and where our base needs to sit. Because as we had seen when we were making the other building over there, that other round building that's making those adaptive control units, that that kind of thing needs to be centered, essentially. We're probably going to have to use micromanage in order to center it. But yeah, this is basically the circle. Unfortunately, this circle's way bigger than it needs to be, or not that it needs to be, than it can be, or that it should be. I should say. Yeah, this circle's way bigger than I want it to be. Oops, I forgot that. Need to put that on Zoop. That's what I need to do. Let's see where it ends up over here. It's okay if it goes this big, because it's going to be this biggest area. This biggest area is going to be up in the sky. So, I mean, this is a bit bigger than I want, but the amount of oil storage would be insane. It would be absolutely insane. Okay, how far are we off here? So that one, yeah, as we can see, it's like... But I want this to be... I do want it to be like a... I don't know what you'd call it. I want it to be a monumental piece. It doesn't necessarily have to be centered. Or not centered. It doesn't necessarily have to be I don't know, usable. Like, we don't necessarily have to use it all. Yeah, this is definitely off because the foundation... Alright, the foundation's one this way, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. So does this end up in the same spot? It does. But why is it so weird, though? Like... I don't get it. Why this circle wouldn't... I mean, I guess the curved point is in the center instead of on the corner like it should be. So basically, if we wanted to get this correct, it would be... it would have to pivot off of the corner so that it doesn't clip. And then it would be, you know, like it should be. Because we're going to use the inside curve anyway, not the outside curve. We're going to use the inside curve as for our walls. So basically what we're going to do here is we're just going to build the full circle. I pressed R there by accident. I think it was R or E. Stop doing that. Stupid fingers. Okay. So yeah, it's not center. The other way. Yeah, it does need to be moved over. It needs to be moved over a whole foundation, which means we need to start the circle over that way. But we can center it though. We can actually, if as long as the micromanager mod works correctly. Why can't I English today? Why can't I English any day? No, it's because I was standing on the edge of it. yeah, we have to build this outer circle. And I was thinking about it too, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to build that outer circle, because if I don't, I'm going to build the inner circle, and then by the time it gets out to be as big as I want on the, when it's at the top, it's going to be really far off. And I'm going to have to overlap a million things just to get it to work. So I'm like, if I build that outer circle first and then bring it in, that would work way better. Okay, that perfectly matches. Alright, so now that we've got this all set, it's actually a pretty damn big circle. That's going to be a lot of storage, but I think it's worth it. I think it fits in the area without being too ridiculous, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, this is definitely not center over the foundation. So now we're going to use the micromanager tool here. Yep, we'll just center it off that, it's fine. Oh, I can't run and control click, unfortunately. So we just have to walk. Oh well. And use a mod to center this for us. It's centered left and right, it's just not centered, or it's centered north and south, but it's not centered east and west over the block here. And we need it to be. As long as we can select enough, or select it all, it shouldn't be too hard. And like I said, we're going to use the inner circle so that there's no gaps in the flooring or in the walls or anything like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this needs to be out here in order to make that work. Or naturally, this one needs to be here. So yeah, see this green one here. This green one, if you don't know about Micromanage Mod, the green one, when you're selecting multiple pieces at once, within one instance, you're going to move them all at one time. You got them all selected like this. The green one is the axis that it moves off of. That's the one that the micromanage focuses on, and all the other pieces, it just moves it with it. So if I was to rotate this or pitch and roll it, stuff like that, it would all pivot off of this one axis, this one piece. So we need to move it here and center it on the whole block. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Alt keys. So this basically just moves it on the is it the x-axis? Because the y-axis, the z-axis is up and down, right? And the y-axis is one way and the x-axis is the other. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and move it. Alt. Are you going to hold... or actually, we're going to do Control-Alt, and I'm going to hit I. Change that to huge so that it moves on, so that it moves very easily and quickly. Then we'll hold the Alt key. Hit the J key. Oh, we're actually on it now. Okay. So, hopefully we don't hit another key here. As long as we don't hit another key, everything will stay selected. We're going to see if that's center. I don't think it is. Yeah, it's definitely not. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go Control Alt again, and we're going to change that back to medium. We're going to Alt and move it over. So the other one's center like that, going north and south, so I wonder if it'll work for east and west as well. It should, but we always want to check, which it does. And I was also thinking about it too, you know, we don't have to center off of this one here. We can center between the two I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know why I just didn't do that. Just center off of this right here, and then we're center on the block perfectly. So yeah, I'm gonna go again. We're gonna go Alt, and we're just gonna hold down J, and there we go. Now we're centered. Should be centered on both sides. Yep, there we go. And then I can just mouse wheel up. And now everything's where it needs to be. Very crazy. Very, very crazy. I get rid of these. These are no longer needed. For right now, anyway. So now we are perfectly centered on this block here. And if our inner like tower portion, the actual portion that it sits on, the actual tank, well, I'm gonna call it a tank, whatever it's called, then we don't have to, as long as it's big enough, we really don't have to worry about where exactly it's centered. This could be slightly off center, and whatnot, so. Yeah, so this is how big it's gonna be. It goes over the road completely on this side. And over the road completely on this side. That's what I wanted to do. Alright. So now we're going to take... This is where I guess it might get interesting for everybody else but me. This is not going to be fun. So basically what I got to do is I got to take foundations, and I've got to move them in like this, but I need to do this first so that the foundation is up above so that I can see what I'm doing. See, we're centered on these two, right? Okay, so it needs to go in 3, I think. Or, yeah. Or four foundations. It needs to go in 4 foundations, I think. We'll see how well that theory holds once I get all 4 edges. I mean, I know I could probably do this much easier, but I'm gonna figure things out as I go. Okay, so 4 is too many, so it's gonna have to be 3 then. So yeah, the tower is gonna have to be quite massive, quite large. And the reason is because if I go in another foundation, then it's gonna pivot this way and it's gonna go right into this rock face. Try and get rid of this as well. Come on, autosave. Good old autosave, man. Okay, so we got that there. Oops. Yeah. Then I gotta find out. Oh, how am I in the way? You could see on my character I was not in the way. You can see on that camera, I mean. Okay. Unfortunately... Oh, never mind. I guess fortunately. It's 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be the biggest the tower is going to be on these corners. We're not going to use every angle, of course, that is on here. Whoa! Shouldn't have done that. I'm an idiot. We all know this. We all know this to be true. That's right. It's a speed hole. That's what that is. To make it speedy removal of that foundation. Okay, so 3. Oh man, that just clears. I do not like that, but I'm glad it cleared. Alright. So now we gotta find the center angle here. because that's probably all we're gonna need. So 1, 2, 3. Probably 4, or 1, 2, 3, 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, never mind. So 1. That's probably not going to. What if we go 1, 2, and then 1? Wish I could. Man, we use a wall actually. Why don't we just use a wall instead? Oh, the wall's not center, of course. Just use a wall, 1 meter. There we go. Let's go 1, 2, 1, and then on this side, we go 1, 2, and 1. And then we got 1 and 2. I don't know if that's going to cover it, but we're going to find out. So now with these 1 meters, I can do this. 2, 3. Okay, so our tower might have some bits to cover up those angles. Okay, so, alright, let's not do that then. I'm just thinking about it, I'm just like, yeah, it's just not gonna work. What if we skip every other one? At least you guys get an insight on how a crazy person thinks. It's just... it's like, oh, this is very fascinating. So that's what a crazy person, that's how a crazy person figures out issues. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do that. Because then it's going to end up like this. And I can't use every angle either. Let's see how this would work before we dismiss it, but... Okay, this would work brilliantly if I could do it. But then I have to overlap these two. And let's see what that would look like here. So I'm going to put a 1 meter. Yeah, see this huge, massive overlap we got going on? These angles. It's not going to work. Unless we use every angle. I mean, we could use every angle and it might look okay. Depending on how much overlap there is. If there's not a huge gap overlap, we can use pieces to kind of decorate it up. But at least there's no gaps. That is the... Actually, I'm going to leave those there. Only want to delete the ones I want to delete. Okay, so we'll use every angle, and we'll see how it works. And I don't want to use... Well, we could use 2 different types of circles, I suppose. Like a smaller circle. But the only problem is that you would have to center that one, too, and figure out how we're gonna mesh them together, mash them together. We're not working with meshes there. I mean, kind of, but yeah. Okay. I also need to make sure that I'm not that I am using the correct. The correct thing here. So let me delete all these and start over. Once we figure out this corner, I'll do all. We'll do all 3, or all the other 3 corners too. Why did this go on the edge? What is wrong with you? I don't understand. He really did not want to go on the edge. We got to stand on this side though, so we don't, so it doesn't drop in the height. Yeah, a little bit hard to explain, but I'll show you here in a second what I mean by that. But yeah, see if we're placing it. How many have I done? Looks like, yeah, if they're glitching, I know they're on the correct line. But yeah, if I go to put it on this side, see how I can do the height. What if I go on this side of it and I get it in the center? I can't adjust the height, you know, freely. It just places it. So that's like perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna remove all this stuff here, because we want this to be perfectly like it's supposed to. So then drag that in. It was 3, right? Yeah, 3. Just like that. Okay, so then we take our wall, our 1 meter, and the 1 meters are just there to just see what it's going to look like, so you can see over it and stuff like that. Get rid of the foundations. Okay. You know, that's not too bad. The little spikes might serve as a purpose for running pipes up and down the outside of the tower, because like I said, I want this to look, I don't want it to be a clean tower per se. I want it, you know, it's going to be somewhat clean, but it's also going to be somewhat crazy, I guess you could say. It's going to be somewhat interesting, maybe is the term I'm going to go for. And that's just going to clear that up there, and all the rest of this should clear, hopefully. Yeah, looks like it's all going to clear the tower here. All that's going to be perfect. The tower's going to be quite big around the base, but that's okay. It's actually good that we went this big, because now I'm not regretting my decision. Anyway, let me get all those walls wrapped all the way around this thing. I'm going to replace those with 4 meter walls as well. Okay, there's that portion done. So we got all the little half walls on all this placed exactly the same way, and then I'm going to put the 1 meter the 1 meter walls all the way around, and then we're going to replace them with all 4 meters. So that basically, I just deleted it so that basically I build all of this at the exact same time in the exact same way, so that it's all, you know, the exact same. And like I said, the spire in the middle doesn't matter if it's centered or not, just as long as it gets covered by the actual tower, so that we don't have to look at it anymore, essentially. Anyway, let's get to placing half walls. Okay, and there's our little half walls. Heck yeah. See, we got all of our half walls here, and I did make sure, I walked around this This will probably be like my third time. Just checking. I'm gonna leave these. I'm gonna leave these little 1 meter walls on this outside here, because what I'm going to do, instead of deleting all this on the outer side, because that's what I centered it off of, why don't I just be smart about it and build walls way up into the sky to where I think about's where we're going to build the tower. With the top of the tower where where all of these tanks, these industrial fluid buffers, are going to sit. And then once I get to that point, then we can delete this down here. But I could put the walls way up into the sky, because there is no structural integrity in this game. Things can float. So, I mean, look at my city. My city would crumble if there was structural integrity. My city would just absolutely crumble to pieces, because a lot of it is floating off the ground. But the basic idea is to be that the city's so big and so large that when you do finally get to the edges of the city, there's just a straight wall, almost like you see in some of those movies and things, where, or maybe some of those cities in I don't know. I used to watch anime back in the day as well. I had this really good one that I liked, and it had this major had this huge city on top of a city. So it had the upper city where most people lived, and then it had the slum city where everybody was down below, but the walls covered up the slums, right? And then there was a flat kind of roof thing. So the upper city got it, had all the glamour and stuff like that, and then down below, I'm not exactly sure. This was many years ago that I had seen it, but it had these. But yeah, when you got up to the city, it had these major walls, and the city was actually, if you were to take away all the walls, the city would be floating really high above the ground. So it had these walls around it, and the city was on top of that. It's actually quite crazy. But yeah, that's basically what mine is. It's not a city above a city, but it's definitely floating above the ground, and then I just put outer walls to make it look like, we've just concreted over the entire thing. But anyway, so now we're going to turn these half walls and whatnot. We're going to turn these half walls into 4 meters, and then see where we go from there, I guess. Alright, so these are now replaced. And what's not. So now we've got all them. It actually looks kind of cool, that design right there in the middle. Looks like it's meant to be this way. Obviously, these are not going to be concrete, unfortunately. We could replace a few of them to see what they look like, I suppose. Materials. Oh, we got to replace more to get that feel like it's made out of this. Yeah, that's not so bad either. The indentions definitely don't really work. The only reason I don't want to use concrete is because, yes, we can paint concrete, but the problem with it is it's washed out, which works for some builds, but not for a lot of other builds. We actually need a good, decent amount of color. Looks like I got it all back, because I'll show you what happens if we try to paint. And let's try to paint with a bright color, like a nice cautionary yellow, right? But of course I will go with red. Red's a pretty bright color. As you can see, it's now it's more of a cherry red. It's very dark, it's very washed out, because that's how concrete is. They do make just for a real life example of how you paint concrete without painting it, they do make a powder that you can mix into your concrete mix that actually gives a color to the concrete, which is actually really cool. It's a colored powder that you can add to it that mixes with it, and it turns it into whatever. They have a limited number of colors, but yeah, it's pretty damn cool. I don't know. I'll have to think on that, but it's going to be concrete for now, just because concrete's cheap and easy in this game to build with, so you don't need a whole lot. Everything else, or all the other materials you need you need steel, or you need iron. Oh. It's still doing it. Stop it. There you go. So this game, this game does have a problem with if you were holding a button down, or clicking or whatever, while you opened up a menu, it locks that button down. I can hold W and hit Q. No, is it not going to do it? No, sometimes it does. Anyway, one of the keys and the key will get stuck, and then and whatnot. But anyway, so I'm thinking, how tall do we want to go with this? Because I want it to be able to be seen from a far distance. So I'm thinking, I don't think this is going to be tall enough, but this will give us a reference point. Oh, it's going to be hard, isn't it? Oh, it's going to be difficult. Oh, I guess we're going to see. Yeah, I'm missing some walls in there. Oh, that wall's already there. I'm missing a wall here. And it doesn't want to let me. Oh, there we go. I guess I just got to discover which walls I'm missing. Try to grab that wall. It's gonna take me a minute. And done. Well, kinda. So there's 10 walls high. Now that is quite tall, yes. But how does it stand? I think it's. They don't think it's tall enough. I don't think it's tall enough. I'm gonna go up here real quick. We're gonna try not to look at our secret project that we got going on. We look at this person. He's still lost. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be taller than that, but yeah, that's looking pretty good actually. It's a bit big, but I think it's meant to be. Like, whoa! I didn't. It feels like I got pushed off that. Let's see what another 10 would look like. How tall would that be? Yes, I think I want it that tall. I will go take a look. Gonna take a minute to actually get up that tall with all those walls. There's actually quite a few of them in here. Yeah, and I think that'll be worth it. Then it could be seen from a very long distance. The other thing I wanted to look at was the logistics side of it. How many pumps is it going to take? Okay, so the maximum head lift is 50 meters. Each one of those is 4 meters tall, so we take 40 times 10, that's 40, so we're going to need at least 2 pumps. So it's going to be 80. We could do 40, 80, and another 40. Would that be too tall? Maybe not. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned or use the smart mod here. Alright, so there's 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, it is counting for me. Should we go that tall? Maybe we should go to the extreme. Because that'll be 120 meters tall plus the top. I think that's worth it. I think I want to do that. And then we use 3 pumps to get up there. Which we could do. I mean, we're not going to use the maximum head lift of 50 meters. We're probably going to end up using somewhere around 45, maybe. But yes, that looks like a sufficient tall. I think. Yeah. Let's do it. That's going to be a piece that is just going to be like, holy crap! Look how tall this thing is. Ooh, so that's 30 walls high, because each one of these are 4 meters, and 4 times 30 is 120. Because 4 times 10 is 40, so then you just take that 40 times 3, which is 40, 80, and then 120. So that's 120 meters from this point here. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it that tall. And then you're going to be down here, and you'll be like, holy crap, that's way up there. That's 120 meters. That is insane. I don't know how much 120 meters is. Okay, so according to my calculations, which are not really my calculations, 120 meters is 393 feet off the ground. That is pretty insane. And considering that I just looked it up, the average water tower height is 130 to 160 feet, or somewhere around there. Some of them are like 165 feet, you know. We're more than double. We're about double. We're about double the height of the water tower. But yeah, the only reason I know these are 4 meters is because if you look at our foundations here, these foundations are 4 meters thick. They're 8 meters by 4 meters. So, yeah, and we have 30 of them on top of each other. And the walls are 4 meters tall. So, yeah, that's quite tall. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and turn this tower. Where's our... Is this our straight one? Yeah. Let's go ahead and turn this tower all the way around. Okay, and there we go. So I decided it would be even more perfect than 120 meters, knocking it down to just 100 meters. So now we've got, instead of 30 tall, we're 25 tall, which I thought was much better. So this is exactly 100 meters, which if we go over here, 100 meters is 328 feet. So again, average height 130 to 165 meters tall, according to just a little bit of research. So we're still over that, 328 feet tall. That's, well, technically almost 329, but anyway, yeah. So that's pretty insane. We got a pretty tall tower here. So now we just got to get this shape up there. But unfortunately, we are pretty much out of time, and considering we've gotten this far with this episode, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it here, but we will continue this next time. We will get the top portion put on, and then we'll start shaping it and stuff like that. I don't know what I want to go for. If I want to just go for the flat edge, just a giant, what you would call it, like a giant flat disc thing on top, or if I want to kind of try and blend it a little bit. Well, we shall see. We shall see at some point. So I'm thinking, like, if I do try to blend it, it's going to be hard to do. So basically, like this. Let's do it a little, like, just a little example, just real quick. So let's say this is the bottom. This right here. This is the bottom, like up there, where the tanks are going to sit on it. Obviously, it's not going to be 1 meter. This is just an example. So if we go upside down, 1 meter. I've done this before. Well, upside down 1 meter, and then of course we're gonna do a 1 meter across there. And actually, just real quick, it's gonna have to be, what is it? Wait, how do we do that per se? It's gonna be, yeah, we can't exactly. Yeah, we can't exactly do that the way I want to do it. I'm just bumping my mic over here. Yeah, we can't go any steeper than 4 meters. Actually, we can, kinda, if we look at walls. We can go in, this is a 4 meter slope. This is an 8 meter slope, which is a perfect 45, which I think is what? Isn't that what the 4 meters do? No. We can go an 8 meter slope, and that's about it. What we could do, though, is use these. I don't know why it wants to sit on the side, but whatever. Do that. The only problem with this is getting this to actually work sometimes. It's a bit of a pain in the butt because it doesn't want to, like, the placement of it is not correct. So then we can do it. This is a double ramp 8 meter. It's called, but and because it's not thin enough, it's not going to work. Okay, so that's just not going to work. We'll have to figure something else out. We could use, I don't know, can we use the, because I need to rotate it like 90 degrees. I don't know, we'll figure something out. And should be interesting. But that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. Next time we'll work on the, like I said, we'll work on the top piece and kind of figuring out the design of that. And then once we get that top piece up there, we get those tanks, starting to place them where they need to go, things like that. We can start working on getting the piping up there, because we're not going to interrupt until most of the pipe work for this is built. We're not going to interrupt the oil lines at all, because we kind of need that currently to make fuel and stuff. So we need to not mess that up too much. But yeah, once all the pipeline work is done, then we'll start hooking things up, kind of teeing it off first, and then start disconnecting and whatnot. So anyway, but like I said, that is going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed this little kind of look into how we're going to start doing some decoration pieces around here to kind of take our mind off some of the more logistical stuff and whatnot. But that'll be next time. So again, do hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.